Dying in this game sucks because you have to start it all over. I know, skill issue.
"30 years had passed, decades without rain. The once fertile plains of Fars had become as barren as the Lut Salt Desert. A few arrow shots from Persepolis, the Kushans, bloodthirsty warriors from the east, were attacking Persia. Persian soldiers defended the land, no matter the cost. Ardashir resisted heroically, but his men fell one by one. Anahita summoned her remaining strength in battle. For Yuvishka, the Kushan general, victory was certain. Until history took a different turn. The 7 Immortals were the best warriors in the kingdom. One of them would become a legend.
Onward, Immortals!
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Shinry. Here at the Everything Anime Podcast, talk about everything from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and whatever relevant topic we plan to talk about. Today's video is my first impressions of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Now, this is not an in-depth game review where, like, I've beaten the game and I'm talking about it. We're not breaking it down bit by bit. When I do game reviews, I talk about my relationship with the game, what I thought about it, and like how fun the gameplay is. But again, this isn't a full review. I've only played an hour and 40 minutes total of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown because I want to get my first thoughts. Because all of my friends, the moment I got this game, they sent me a text like, "Hey, is it good? Do you like it? Is it worth buying? Yada yada yada." Because I'm the guy that'll waste $60 on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, play 3 hours of it, and be immediately bored and want to take it back to GameStop to get $30 back because I'm like, I'm never going to play this again, and you won't get my full refund because Blockbuster and Hollywood Studios doesn't exist anymore. And yes, I know GameFly is still a thing. I know that now. I learned that last week. I didn't know GameFly was still a thing. I wish I had, because GameFly, you can rent games, or they ship you the game. You pay like a certain amount a month, and if you keep the game longer than that, they charge you the full price. But typically, you pay like $7 a month, and they ship you whatever game you want to play, one at a time. You can play the game. When you're done with it, you can send it back. If you want to keep it, they'll let you keep it. You don't get a box, you just get the game disc. I did it one time when I had Epic Mickey. I ended up keeping Epic Mickey. I loved Epic Mickey. Anyways, so my relationship with the Prince of Persia. I played the Prince of Persia Sands of Time on GameCube. And then I played the Warrior Within, or Two Swords, on GameCube as well. And then the third one was on the Wii, where he had like the Dark Prince, and it was like the Light Prince, or the Good Prince and the Evil Prince. I was always a fan of Prince of Persia. I do think Sands of Time was the best version. The later ones got better. Like the second one, were like, it's like a random scene where like she cuts his face and he's like, "Ah, you bitch." I'm gonna see if I can find that clip.
You bitch!
Very random scene. And then this other scene I loved from the Prince of Persia 3, me and my friends used to quote this. He's like, why is it every time I find myself about the purple blade or something like that?
Why is it that every time disaster strikes, I find myself without a proper blade? Still, it's better than nothing.
See if I can find those 2 clips and clip them in here. But, yeah, I was a fan. Now, there was other ones before that I never played. Like, I know it was like a side-scroller. That's what people kind of have a complaint about with this game, that it's a side-scroller. They're like, oh, it's not my Prince of Persia. But Prince of Persia started as a side-scroller, just like Mario. Mario started as a side-scroller. So that'd be like me playing, like, Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64, and then like, or Super Mario, whatever the one on 64 was called. But then like my dad or my mom pulls out like the Super Nintendo, and they're like, "Oh, this is Mario," and I'm like, "This is not my Mario. This ain't Mario." When it is, that's Mario's Origins. That was Prince of Persia's Origins. It's kind of like this, the side scroller thing. Now after that, there was one on 360 where. Okay, so if you don't know Prince of Persia, the gimmick in Prince of Persia was like, if you're about to die, or if you messed up, or you're fighting a boss and you're about to be killed, you activate the sense of time, and it reverses time up to like, in real time, it's probably like 10 seconds for him, but like, it's as much sand as you have in your pocket. And you can completely save yourself from being killed. You can give yourself a second chance, give yourself a second chance from falling. If you're not in a bad spot, I'll play some clips. But, yeah, that was the gimmick of Prince of Persia. That's what made Prince of Persia different. Now, there was one on 360 that came out, I think in like 2015 or something like that, or it might have been early in 2015. But it's the one where, like, you can't die, because even though the prince doesn't understand the time, the woman that he's traveling with has the ability to understand the time. So every time you die, she just reaches up, grabs you, and pulls you to safety. You cannot die in the 360 Prince of Persia. You can't. Even if you're about to die, she will reach down and save you. You're basically immortal in that game. Now, I think there was another one, but I don't recall. I think there was like another Prince of Persia as well. But anyways, so I did play the 360 one. I thought it was okay. The ending's kind of corny because like you basically you make all these trees basically to seal like this demon. And it's sealed inside of the woman that he fell in love with, the one that travels with you. And then at the end, like, the actual end of the game, like, you can end the game. You can turn the game off. The demon sailed away. She died. You can turn the game off. But to get the credit ending, you have to, like, start destroying the trees that you spent the whole game building. And then you bring her back to life. And then she's like, why'd you do that? The demon's going to be released. And he's like, oh, well, I guess we're going to live in this desolate world together. So he walks away with her, and, like, the credits start rolling, and the demon takes over the whole world. So that was the ending of that 360 one. The story of this, I haven't got that far, is that this guy, what's his name, is Sauron. I have it in my notes. Sargon. He's one of 7 immortals. There are Rajan, who looks like a badass. Orad, who looks like a Groot. Menelaus, I might say that wrong. I like him. Baham, which has like this like monocle over his eye. Artaban, and then Neith. And they're the 7 immortals. They're basically like, they're like the strongest warriors of the Persian army. He's not a prince. He's not the Prince of Persia himself, as far as I can tell in this game, because the prince in this game's name is Ghassan. And he's like the son of the queen. He's supposed to become the king soon. And he gets kidnapped by, like in the original first game, the successor, like the ambassador. Except this time it's a woman named Anita. She kidnaps him so she can, like, sacrifice him to this god that chooses the future kings and queens. And she's hoping, like, to offer him up and, like, take his place and become a queen. That's what I'm getting so far. Again, I'm only an hour and 40 minutes in, but that's the only part of the story I know so far. Gameplay, pretty simple. Because it's a side scroller, you kind of just like go on a straight path. There are, when you open up the game, when you start to play, it tells you there's 2 ways to play. There is exploration, which the map basically doesn't tell you where to go. It doesn't say here's where you need to go next. It's like you're free to explore, find things yourself. Now, if you watch my 5-hour Paper Mario video, you know I love to explore. I love to explore everything in the game. So I chose exploration. But the other option is guided, which tells you exactly where to go, it tells you exactly where to go with an icon, but it also reveals everything on the map. And you don't unlock the map till the second level, but you don't need the map till the second level anyway. But basically, when you look at the map at that point, you'll see everything. Whereas, like with exploration, the map only forms as you like explore everything to like its extent. Like if you don't go all the way to the end of a hallway, when you look at the map, it'll make it look like you can still keep going, but then you'll reach the end of that hallway and it's gated and you can't go any further. So the map will reflect that, or it will reflect that it's blocked. Whereas if you do guided, I'm sure it'll probably tell you like, hey, this is gonna be a dead end. You can't go that way or whatever. So I like exploration for that reason. However, to bring up what I said in the beginning of the game, how like I kept dying in this game, and I know I said it was a skill issue. Here's the problem with it. When the enemies constantly respawn. If you leave an area and go back, all those enemies you killed, they respawn. And so far, I have not seen a level up system. I have not seen a item system yet where like all these like rubies I'm getting from killing all these enemies are doing anything. Like I have 500 rubies. I have not done anything with them yet. And you know, he has 3 health bars and he doesn't go down like 3 hits. He goes down to like maybe like 9. But like because like you only get 1 potion and like sometimes enemies leave health, they don't always. If you die, if you did not pass the save point, you are back at the beginning of the game. This is like that Returnal. You know how like a Returnal, well not as bad as Returnal. Like Returnal I know is like worse, but like soft Returnal where like if you go and do a bunch of shit like I just did for an hour and a half, or like, well not an hour and a half, like for the level I was doing on level 2, do all the shit I was doing, then die, all that shit you did don't matter because yeah, the doorway will be unlocked, but to get back to where you were at, you have to go through all those enemies and all that. And I tried running past them and I'm like, some of them just getting away or they'll take me out anyway. And I'm back at that fucking save point. So that's a little bit of annoying. I have not seen a Sands of Time element in here, and again, every Prince of Persia has had some kind of sand related ability in each game, and this one so far hasn't shown me that. But again, I still can see it fitting in the Prince of, because I don't know how the side scroller was. I don't know if the Sands of Time introduced that, or if like it was always a part of the Prince of Persia kind of thing. Also, in my notes, let me see. There's a new thing called Athera, which I think is replacing the sands. So the more you beat up enemies, you get Athera, which unlocks like a special ability. It's not too flashy. I'll make sure I show it. It's not really that flashy, but you know, I mean, it was cool because again, it's a side scroller game. But yeah, it builds up as you fight enemies. But if you take any damage, like it goes down like a little bit at a time. Let's see. Oh, there's this one part in the beginning where like there's these spikes. If you knock enemies into it, they'll die. I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, because sometimes they'll get back up and keep fighting. I'm kind of just going off the rip because I don't have like full notes for this game yet. Let me see what else I had on here. Yeah, I talked about the map. I talked about how annoying it is to die in the respawn of enemies. So there's these things called walk trees, which automatically heals your Athera if you're out, but again, you get that like fighting enemies. And again, Athera, it's just kind of like a flashy finisher, but I haven't really seen much like use for that yet, like later in the game. Oh, and also I bought if anybody knows this, put this in the comments. I paid for the $10 like deluxe edition, and I'm supposed to have like special armor and stuff like that, but I have not seen a way to equip it. It says it's installed and downloaded, but I have yet to see how to equip it. Oh, and speaking of boss fights, I'm not going to talk about this first boss fight against, what's his name? Vahisha or whatever? Uvisha, whatever the fuck his name is. I'm not going to talk about how many times I died against this guy. I'm playing the hero, which isn't like, I think it's like rookie or rogue, warrior, hero, and something else. I'm doing the hero just because I go on a little bit of a challenge as I'm playing the game. But I died against that guy so many times, and that's what I said, I know the skill issue. Dying in a boss fight isn't too bad because you just end up back in a boss fight. But outside of boss fights, when you just die as you're trying to explore and do all that part's annoying. But yeah, I died in that boss fight a lot of times. It's a little bit embarrassing, but I'll make sure I show some clips of that fight. But I will say overall though, the game is fun. It's different, and I love different games. That's why I like Assassin's Creed Mirage. I like that we're back to eliminating you can eliminate your target without going into a combat battle system, because that's not Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is you go up to your target, you stab them, you find unique ways to kill them and take them down. That's Assassin's Creed. Prince of Persia, like I said, it's usually the gimmick with the sands, but again, this guy isn't giving me, he's not giving me the normal prince, he's giving me an immortal god who has Athra, and maybe the Prince of Persia is the one that got captured. Again, I'm not that far, but that's what I'm getting. But I'm liking it. But again, it is annoying with the whole, if you die and all that progress I just made, I'm now back at the Athra tree, the last save point, which again, and there's not many save points scattered. So it's not like you can I mean, you probably can't get to a certain point and you'll end up back there, but I did a lot of exploring and now I'm way back. But that had a little bit of a cut. But yeah, way back there. Now, there was one other thing I forgot to mention. I don't know how Guided has this where you automatically have rare items that you can't reach in the so the game tells you when you get to this first rare item that you can't reach, it tells you to come back later, but mark this area. I think in Guided it might already do it for you, mark hey, this is something, a rare item or rare treasure to come back for. Because this first treasure I tried to grab, I can't reach it for some reason. And the game tells you hey, you need a special ability to come back here and get it. So mark this area. So that's kind of cool. I kind of like that, especially like I said, doing exploration. I like being able to find this myself and be hey, if I want to come back here for this, I can, or mark it myself. And I probably will, especially because I keep dying. I'll probably end up dying again after getting the ability to get up there, and then I'll be able to grab it, as far as I can tell. I don't have much more thoughts because again, this is an in-depth video, and I haven't fully beaten the game. I just done an hour and 40 minutes, and the way I keep dying, it's probably gonna take a while before I get this game review out. But first impressions, it is good. I think people hated on the game before it came out because they wanted the original Sands of Time remake, which I did want to. I am a fan of Sands of Time. I have a Wii now, and I'm gonna probably buy some GameCube games. So if I ever see Sands of Time on GameCube, I'll probably buy it. I'll pick it up. But yeah, pretty fun game. Again, skill issue. If you're like me, oh yeah, there's no block in the beginning of the game, and there's no block apparently up to level 2 because I'm on level 2. So what you can do is you unlock parry in the first fight, in the first levels. And against a boss, you have to parry all his attacks. Oh, and there's this cool thing where it's a parry finisher or a parry counter. What do they call it in this game? It was called a parry. Vengeful strike. They call it a vengeful strike. So when the enemy strikes, when the enemy's about to attack and they turn yellow, you hit parry and you do a cool technique. The first one, it kicks the king off, and depending on the direction you face, he will kick the king off that way. It's not like a cinematic thing. He does kick him the way that you're facing. So I like that. The vengeful strike is your parry. Though by the second boss fight, you learn how to block, which really is just dodging, sliding. Oh no, it's not even blocking, it's just dodging. So as far as you can tell, there's no block on here. But the controls are easy, it's pretty simple. Square to attack, X to jump, L2 to parry, R2 to dodge when in combat, R2 to run when you're not in combat, L2 when the enemy is about to strike, to parry. When the enemy about to strike, parry when they're yellow, and there's a vengeful strike. Upward on the D-pad is to heal, and then square, hold that down to charge strike, which I'm having trouble charge striking enemies because as I'm trying to charge up, they get a free attack and that just does damage. And again, the princess, the immortal god that we're playing, he ain't so immortal because he goes down in about 9 hits, so he ain't that immortal. And you get the game over screen over and over again. But yeah, I'm going to finish the game. Once I do, I'll probably give my complete thoughts. Again, this was first impression, so I don't expect this video to be long. And we'll eventually come back and talk to this about maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I think I'll finish it by then. I don't think it's too long of a game. But yeah, if you know how to add those these special costumes that the game came with, let me know in the comments because I have not figured it out yet. But then again, I just started playing just to get this review out. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Move on to the sponsor, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are two. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red Will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So, if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.